Hi, and welcome to this overview of the financial modules in SAP Business One. SAP Business One is a fully integrated business management solution with finance, distribution, manufacturing, purchasing, CRM, service, reporting, and mobility. But what we want to focus on today is just have a look at the financial modules in SAP Business One. What we see in front of us is SAP Business One HANA. It happens to be version 9.1. When we log in, we see our typical KPIs and dashboards. Let's just scroll down. We can see our receivables overdue, our payables overdue, our open purchase orders, our various workflow elements, for example, our financial processes. This is obviously associated with workflow inside SAP Business One. But really what we want to focus on for this presentation is the financial module. So let's go into the menu structure and we'll focus on the financial aspects. As I open up the financial menu, I can see chart of accounts, edit chart of accounts, journal entry, journal vouchers, fixed assets, budgets, and cost accounting. This is typical of the various financial aspects that you might want to use in SAP Business One. Let's start by looking at the chart of accounts. In SAP Business One, a very flexible chart of accounts, segmented or non-segmented chart of accounts can be used. On the right-hand side, I can see my typical assets, liabilities, capital and reserves, turnovers, and the other typical elements that I might use. On the left-hand side, I can see information associated with the account. Is this an active account or a title account? I can see a drill down to get to the account balance. So as with other aspects of SAP Business One, simply drill down, get to additional detail, double click sort, and drill down if I want to the invoice in question. So start at that high level of information, drill down to the information that I want. Down on the bottom left hand side, relevant to cost accounting. These are the dimensions in SAP Business One. The dimensions that I've set up here are project, division, region, department, branch, and product line. But obviously those can be set up to your specific requirements. What these enable you to do is do another level of analysis through these dimensions without having to include that amount of detail in the chart of accounts. This gives you a smaller, more manageable chart of accounts, but still allows you that great level of detail. So I can run a P&L by project, for example, by division, by region, by department or branch. And as I said earlier, don't forget that those can be tailored to the individual requirements of your business. In this instance, I've simply set them up by division, region, etc. In terms of editing the chart of accounts, very simple to go in and edit the chart of accounts. Let's just go look over the turnover accounts. If I want to add a same level accounts, I simply go in, add a same level accounts, give it a GL account number, and a GL account name. Nice, simple process that a super user can go in and modify the chart of accounts. Obviously, you would need authorizations to do so. Those authorizations are strictly controlled within SAP Business One. Let's now review journal entry. SAP Business One offers a diary system, so I'm going to put through an accrual at the end of the month and do a reversing transaction on the first of the following month. That will automate that procedure of doing the reversal of the accrual. Nice little elements to help automate the process. Obviously I can do template type journals, percentage or recurring postings. I can put the journal against the project. I can get more functionality out of the journal entry by clicking on the expand column. I can go back to a previous journal and I can right click and duplicate that journal. Now change the amounts. I could also put a note against the journal. So if I'm doing this journal for a particular reason, right click, create an activity, puts a note against that journal. So when I look at it in 6 months' time, I can remember why I created that particular journal. Now, a nice feature also in SAP Business One, go onto the journal, right click, copy table. This allows me to copy that journal, put it into Microsoft Excel, change the journal in Excel, copy it back to Business One. Or alternatively, just start by creating the journal in Microsoft Excel, copy it out of Excel, put it into SAP Business One. So great functionality to and from Microsoft Excel for those journals. Obviously, we discussed this briefly, but posting templates for journals, recurring postings for journals, all of the automated elements that you would expect. Fixed assets, a complete fixed assets module in SAP Business One. So here I have a Dell notebook, and under the fixed assets information, I can see it belongs to the asset class IT equipment. I give it a specific capitalization date. It's got a serial number against it, depreciated over a straight line over 36 months, for example, and all of my typical values, my depreciation, what cost center does it belong to, and the attributes of the asset. I can do book and tax depreciation separately in SAP Business One. So a full fixed assets module natively embedded into the SAP Business One. Finance modules including acquisition of the asset, including special depreciation, one-off, normal depreciation, depreciation forecasts, appreciation if, for example, I own land or buildings, and as I said, the ability to do book and tax depreciation. I can see under the asset menu retirement of the asset, transferring of the asset, manual depreciation, etc. Let's now go and talk briefly about budgets within SAP Business One, complete budgets, including the ability to have multiple budgets. So on this screen I can see I have a forecast one, an actuals, and an actuals again against forecast. So multiple budgets in SAP Business One. Budgets can be brought in from Excel or could be copied from a previous budget. And the beauty of this is I can run my P&L actuals year to date, and then I can run forecast for the remainder of the year. The system will say, which budget do you want to use for the remainder of the year? Do you want to use your standard budget, your optimistic, your pessimistic budget, etc.? And I can put those into the system. Cost accounting, we touched on this a little bit earlier when we spoke about dimensions, but once again, just to touch on that very briefly, I can run cost accounting or dimensions, so then I can run a P&L by branch, a P&L by division, by product line. Very, very handy to give your general manager the type of information that they might need associated with their division inside SAP Business One. So what we've covered off so far in terms of the financial modules is the chart of accounts, journal entry, fixed assets, and budgeting. A couple of other things to note. One is that SAP Business One is a multi-company system, so I can set up various separate ABNs and companies in SAP Business One. And if I want to, I can then incorporate the intercompany module to do arm's length intercompany transactions and also to duplicate items and customers, etc. across the multiple companies. And then I can do consolidated reporting. On the subject of financial reporting, let's just have a look at a couple of things. Firstly, let's touch on just some typical reporting like customer aging, for example. Let's go in here, we'll do a customer aging. We can do it by customer or by sales employee. We'll put D in for today's date. A couple of nice things to note when I'm running any report like this. Currently 10, 20, 30, 40 days. I want to run it by 30, 60, 90, 120 days. Just nice and simple to change the report. Go in, there's the report with full drill down. So a typical accounting report of an aging analysis. Here I'm looking at it, for example, just to show the multi-currency aspects. Let's go into that again. I'm looking at this in the business partner currency, so I see that somewhere in Australian dollars, somewhere in New Zealand dollars, US dollars. If I change it back to my local currency, the system will convert those all to Australian dollars. Another nice feature, I want to see what my aging looked like in 2007. Simply put 2007 in the system, date driven, takes me back to what my aging looked like in 2007. Full drill down to the customer and to the invoice. So just an example of a typical aging report inside SAP Business One. Tax reporting, obviously my batch generation reports, so I can have a look at the reporting from a BAS point of view, your typical elements that you can see in here for those familiar with BAS reporting for Australian GST, and open up and look underneath it at your S1s, GST liable, SE sales export, etc. So badge reporting, badge report retrieval, tax declaration reports, tax withholding reports, etc. inside SAP Business One. So multiple different ways that I can run those reports in SAP Business One, run the standard tax report, push that to Excel, or run the full badge generation report, whichever I prefer. Touching again on reporting, standard reporting, balance sheet, profit and loss. When I go into a profit and loss report, I can look at it by project, by division. We've discussed this earlier. So I just want a P&L for that product line or for that division. Okay, cash flow reporting, and very, very importantly on the SAP Business One HANA framework, don't forget about the fully interactive cash flow forecast analysis. So I'm pulling this up now in front of me. Let's just run it for a closer timeline. And I can see, I'm not going to go into this in any detail. We've got separate blogs and separate detail on the cash flow forecast, but a full interactive cash flow forecasting tool sitting inside the SAP Business One HANA framework. Cash flow analysis as well, comparison reports. So show me a P&L, for example, this month versus last month, this quarter versus this quarter last year, this year versus last year. Budget reports, fixed assets reports. So across the financial aspects of SAP Business One, multiple interactive reports. Of course, what I'm showing you here is all the standard reports. I can also have, for example, pivot tables running inside SAP Business One from my standard menu structure, or I can have, if I would prefer, those I just click on the launch and I can launch the application from there, or alternatively I might have things like Crystal Reports or BI 360. So a number of different reporting options. The focus of this presentation isn't really the reporting options, more just a general overview of finance, but there are a myriad of different options available. Standard SAP Business One reports, SQL Server reporting services, the ability to have Crystal, and a number of other options. So I'll leave those open to each customer might choose something a little different in that regard, and we've got some separate blogs and YouTube videos on that. But I hope what we've shown you today is a little bit of an overview of the financial modules in SAP Business One, General Ledger, Journals, and touched on some of the reporting as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Please don't forget that there's a lot of additional information available on our website at leveragetech.com.au. Thanks for watching.